Hello everybody, so I decided to film this video in my car in a random parking lot while I'm out running errands just because I really wanted a change of scenery. Every once in a while I like to film these life update videos in the form of Q&As, that way you all get to know me a little bit better, and these kind of videos sort of just like fill in the gaps of what goes on in my life outside of being a flight attendant that you don't see in my travel vlogs. Also, I feel like cars are kind of just fun places to have life chats with friends, so here we are. Right now I'm trying to find my phone. Here it is, so that I can answer the questions that you guys all asked me on Instagram a long time ago. I was meant to film this video a while ago and I just haven't, but here we are now. So the biggest question that I know you all want like updates and information on is Miss Luna. So if you saw my Instagram stories, and I think I alluded to it in one of my previous videos, but we had to take Luna, our golden retriever, to the vet because she developed a rash on her leg. I'm not going to post any pictures of that because it might gross some people out, but anyway, we took her to the vet and she got a bacterial infection on her like inner thigh towards her belly because she has really bad allergies and she was just licking her skin raw, caused the rash. So we do have like monthly allergy shots that we get her, but once she is done with her antibiotics and the spray that we put on her rash, which should be in about another week, then we are going to consider looking into like this dog dermatologist that our vet recommended so we can find the root source of Luna's allergies. She does get horrible allergies and obviously that is not fun for her. So we want to make her as comfortable as possible. But other than that, Luna is doing great. She is just a happy, healthy dog. Okay, so the next pressing questions. Are we moving? Are we buying a house this year? And are we moving out of Dallas? So the best answer I can give you all for that is we genuinely do not know. Our apartment lease is up in April and we currently are in Fort Worth, so we honestly don't know what we're going to do yet. We don't know if we want to stay in this area or move to a different area within the state of Texas, or if we want to have a house or another apartment. These are things that we are just discussing as a couple, and obviously when we come to a decision, I will let you guys know. I can tell you all though that if we were to move, we would probably move within the state of Texas. Like, I definitely don't see us moving to a different state anytime soon. Another big question, do I see myself being a flight attendant forever, or do I see a career change at some point? So I did talk about this a little bit in my last vlog from Honolulu, Hawaii. I personally don't like to put the pressure on myself, or the label, I guess, on myself to commit to one job title for the rest of my life. Looking back 10 years ago, I never saw myself as a flight attendant. I never saw myself as a YouTuber, as a content creator. I didn't even know that existed. I didn't even know that this life that I'm currently living was in the realm of possibility for myself. So I don't really like to put pressure on myself thinking like I have to be a flight attendant as my career for the rest of my life, because if a different opportunity came forward that I felt like better served me, then I would probably take it. Do I love being a flight attendant right now? Yes, I absolutely do. And also I think too, it really helps me mentally to not base my identity off of my job, which I think is something that I did pre-furlough. So before I was furloughed as a flight attendant, I definitely think I saw myself as like Julia, the flight attendant. I didn't see myself as Julia, the lover of books, the lover of working out, the lover of travel, the lover of being a dog mom, I don't know, just like the lover of outdoors, and just like all of these different things that make me unique and make me who I am outside of my job. And honestly, I think it has taken me being furloughed and me stepping out of my comfort zone and having a YouTube channel to realize that I am just so much more than my job title. And I will admit, I definitely experienced a little bit of this too when I was a gymnast, because I was a gymnast for 17 years and that was my entire life. It took up a really big portion of my identity. I didn't really grieve the loss of gymnastics. I didn't really think about it too much because I just replaced it with aviation. And so I think if I were to ever not be a flight attendant one day, it would be a lot easier of a transition for me, because I have just learned to really love myself and who I have become in my 20s. And I'm just really proud of myself for that. Do you have any travel or vacation plans for this year? So yes and no. So for example, my sister and I, we take a trip together every year, a sister trip. So I know we will have that planned. Like I know we're gonna go on that trip together, but we don't know where yet. And I have some personal trips that I definitely wanna go on with some of my girlfriends. I'm sure that Eric and I would love to go on a trip together somewhere this year, but we do not have any solid plans. So there's definitely like, I guess, trips or vacations that I want to take, but they're there have not been any solid plans made yet. I really love this question. What are at least 2 things I'm doing for my mental health this year? One thing that Eric and I have actually done, and it's sort of like a little house rule that we have implemented, is every night before bed, we make sure that the house is clean. Not that it needs to be completely spotless, but make sure that dishes are done, blankets on the couch are folded, TV trays are put away, clothing is picked up, so that way when you wake up in the morning, you have a nice, clean house and you're not waking up to mess. I feel like I get really stressed when there is clutter and when there is mess. And so to start your day like that is just not very good mentally. Another thing that I am really focusing on for this year is balance and intention when I am doing things. So for example, I get overwhelmed very easily. I'm definitely the type of person to take on way more projects than I can probably handle at the time. So I'm really working on balance. So for example, like when I'm working as a flight attendant, I'm just working as a flight attendant. And then when I'm home editing, I am home editing. And when I start to feel burnt out, instead of pushing myself to do more, is to put my laptop down, go on a walk, to be outside, take a break when I need to, and almost to just try to work smarter, not harder. And when I am feeling those feelings of just being really overwhelmed, to just take a deep breath, think of different things that I am grateful for, and sort of just like move on. I used to build these things up in my head to be way bigger than they actually are. And I don't know, just to kind of look at things with different perspective and intention of, I get to do this, I don't have to do this. The day will go on if I don't finish editing this video today, but I get to do this because it's a passion of mine and because I love it and it brings me joy. But if this video isn't done by the end of today, it's okay. There's always tomorrow. What is the most challenging part of my job? Definitely the time spent away from my family. Thank goodness for FaceTime. I don't know how people in this career field or other career fields where you have to spend time away from your significant other before FaceTime. I don't know how y'all did it. I could not live without FaceTiming Eric while I am gone on my trips. And it's interesting because being a flight attendant has given me a sense of independence that I never knew that I needed. And I just feel like such like a more confident, stronger, independent woman, like because of my career and the different things that I have been able to go out and do on my own. But sometimes it is also just really, really hard to walk out that door and go on those trips. Even if I'm going somewhere really exciting, obviously, I wish I could bring my family with me. It's really weird too, because I have this love of travel and also this love of being home with my family. So I'm trying to just find balance between the two. Tips on how to read more. So obviously I love this question because I love to read. You all know that reading is such a big passion of mine. I'm actually starting a new channel soon that's going to be all about lifestyle and books. So make sure that you guys stay tuned for that. But some of the things that help me read more is to read based off of your mood. So for example, if you're in the mood to read a thriller, read a thriller. If you want to read a romance, read a romance. Don't force yourself to read a book that is out of your comfort zone or is out of like the feelings that you are looking for in a book, because then you're just going to be unmotivated to read and you're not going to like the end result and you're just going to be unhappy. For example, right now I'm really in the mood to read thrillers, so I just started the book Rock, Paper, Scissors, but I just got off of a fantasy book and 2 romance books like back to back, so it helps me to switch up the genres every once in a while, because if I stick to one theme or one genre like over and over and over again, then you just kind of get sick of it and then you get in a reading slump. Also, what helps me is an hour before bed instead of being on your phone to read, because it helps you wind down and get ready for bed. Also to read like in the in-between times, like while you're eating lunch, read your book, or while you're walking on the treadmill, you can read a book. There's just different periods throughout the day where you can take even 15 to 20 minutes to read, and you have no idea how much that adds up at the end of the day. Like if you look at how much time you spend on your phone every day, I think sometimes mine's like a ridiculous and like a embarrassing amount of time, but if you take even half of that and you read during that time instead of being on your phone, you would be amazed by how much you could read. You could probably finish a book or 2 a week. Also, start small. If you're not an avid reader, don't go pick up a 700 or 800 page book, because that's going to be really intimidating for you. Go pick up a book that's maybe 200 to 300 pages and give yourself the goal to read 50 a day. Are we getting another dog? Definitely not right now, but I think we would consider it maybe one day a few years from now if we were in a house and had a large backyard. But right now I feel like it's definitely not the time for us to get another dog. Do I listen to audiobooks or podcasts? No, I do not. I especially don't listen to audiobooks just because I feel like when I'm reading a book, I have it so in my head, like what it should sound like, the pacing of reading the book and what the characters look like and what their voices are like in my own head. And I don't know, the thought of an audiobook just makes me not like it as much. And I've tried them before and I just like can't get into it. I get too distracted. And the way that I read books is I read them and I hear the voices in my head and then I visualize the whole story happening as if I was watching a movie. And when I listen to an audiobook, I don't have that same experience. I haven't listened to a podcast since college when I was required to listen to one for a class. I don't know how I feel about podcasts. So maybe if any of you have like recommendations for a good podcast, let me know and maybe I'll give it a shot. Is it awkward to film in public? Yeah, it definitely can be, hence why I try to find secluded areas to film in. Obviously, if I'm in a crowded area and I'm vlogging a flight attendant trip, then it is kind of awkward. I've had someone laugh at me before while I was vlogging in the ocean, and that was really embarrassing. But then I just had to remember, I was like, you know what, I'm the one who's like living my best life and is filming my experiences and having fun with it. And if you're gonna laugh about that, then that's not my problem, that's on you. But I do think that being a content creator is much more common now, especially with the explosion of TikTok. And maybe people don't film on big cameras as opposed to iPhones, but I think it's just more common. People know what it is and it doesn't seem as like taboo as maybe it used to be. But another thing I do try to do is not have other people's faces in my videos. I understand that there's a lot of people that don't want their face on the internet, and that is, you know, completely their right. And also, you will never see a child's face on my YouTube channel without explicit permission from the parent, because I just think that is so wrong. Learning to film in public has really taught me to just get out of my comfort zone and also to just not care what people around me think, because 9 times out of 10, actually probably more than that, 99.9% of the time, I am never going to see these people again. So why do I care what they think? Can you answer questions about your bleeding disorder? Sure. So I have what is called von Willebrand disease, and it is a form of hemophilia, which is a blood clotting disorder. So for example, if I were to get a cut or a scrape, I would just bleed more than the average person. And I do have medication that I can take as needed. Certain things that I have struggled with growing up with it as a kid were definitely some injuries with gymnastics, like taking longer to heal than most other kids. And then, not to be TMI, but it's definitely going to be TMI, but like my menstrual cycle is obviously a lot heavier than most people, but you know, that's just part of life and it is what it is. But I feel like my bleeding disorder is not such a big detriment to my life that I can't live life as a normal person. Like, I definitely don't consider myself disabled because of it. I'm still very much able to live a fully functioning and normal life. This question makes me laugh. Does Eric, my boyfriend, care about me being in a bikini on social media? No. He does not. And we have talked about this before. And no, he does not. Because here's the thing, you guys. I film my content as I am going through my life. I do not change anything about myself or what I am doing when I film. So if I am at the beach and I am in a bathing suit, that's just my life. And that's what I'm doing in that moment. If I am sitting in my car wearing a tank top because it's a nice sunny day out, that's how I'm gonna film. I don't change my life for my content. I film my content as my life goes on, if that makes sense. So I'm not gonna change my hair. I'm not gonna change the way I do my makeup. I'm not gonna change the clothing that I wear simply just because I am filming a video. You guys have seen me crying, hair up, sweatpants, makeup, no makeup, dressed up, heels, gown. You guys see me just as I am. Have I ever considered moving back to Las Vegas, where I'm from? And also, have I ever considered coaching gymnastics? So I have not considered moving back to Las Vegas just because, as much as I loved growing up there and I love my parents who live there, it's just not where I want to live as an adult. It doesn't work for my job. Obviously, I love to visit and I love to see my parents and I love to go back, but I just don't see us living there in the future. I did coach gymnastics a little bit right when I got out of college. summer camps and stuff like that, but I am just really not passionate about coaching gymnastics. I think it's okay, but I don't enjoy it, and it's not really fair to the kids to have a coach that didn't enjoy it. I loved doing gymnastics, but I really don't like coaching it. Will I take selfies with people who recognize me in public? Absolutely. I've met a few subscribers, and I always love meeting you guys. It is awesome. You are the reason why I have the platform that I do. Quite literally, without you guys watching my videos, I would not be a YouTuber, so I am forever grateful for all of you. So if you ever see me in public, please say hello. I have so much gratitude for you, and I would love to take a picture with you if that's what you want. How do I plan activities on my layovers with short time to spare? It's definitely more difficult if I don't know ahead of time where I'm going, like if I get a trip on reserve, but I do have a note on my phone where I list all of the different things that I want to do on different layovers and links to the websites or to different excursions and sites where I can book things. So I kind of go off of that list that I've already pre-created for myself. And then if I know ahead of time that I have a trip to a really cool destination, then I will research it a lot ahead of time and sort of try to have a game plan for what I want to do. But then sometimes when you go on a layover, it is fun to just kind of go with the flow and see what's around you and what is fun and maybe what the crew wants to do, etc. All right, you guys, I think I'm going to finish the Q&A here, but if you do have any more questions, let me know in the comment section below and I will do my best to reply and answer. But I hope that you all are having a fabulous day. Thank you so much for watching, and if you're new here, don't forget to subscribe. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up, blah, 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 the whole spiel. Thank you so much for being here. It means the world to me. I hope you're having a fantastic week, and I'll see you next time. Bye.